Now, you can see where I get my humour from, right? Thank you, Maxine. There we go. So getting offline. The idea that, storage and hard drives and caching is particularly interesting, it's kind of a weird idea. It's been something we're doing since the beginning of computing, right? Caching is one of these things because fast stuff is expensive and slow stuff is cheap. So fast networks are expensive, and fast hard disks and fast memory are expensive, but the slow stuff is really cheap. So we cheat by caching. And the web's done this all along. And it's a whole heap of other tricks in how we can make our applications and our websites faster and work without necessarily being connected to the web. So I'm going to talk about these things for the next 45 minutes or so. And we'll look at how we can make our applications and our websites work offline. And how we can make them work more quickly, whether they're an application, whether a website, whatever you want to, however you want to describe them. One of the things people often say about the difference between native apps and web apps is native apps work even when you're not connected, and what happens when when you're aeroplanes or go in a tunnel or some other kind of magical experience where you're not connected to the web anymore, like at a conference. And we're doing pretty well, I think, today. The truth is, most native apps are really just thin HTTP clients anyway. If you use a Facebook app, native app, Twitter, native app, when you're not connected, well, nothing much really happens. In the case of Facebook, kind of nothing happens. So it's arguable that even when you're connected, nothing happens on Facebook. But I'll leave that to one side. That's possibly the first mention of Facebook. I mean, there's a big thing, there's $1 trillion, there's all this stuff, and yet no one's talked about Facebook today, which I think is fantastic, right? Shows we actually care about technology and implementing stuff, not sort of the kind of soap opera of the web. All right, so what we're going to look at today is we're looking at how we can cache to make our websites and applications faster. We're going to look at how we can use local storage to keep data locally so we can work when our applications are online. And we can use some events to know when a user goes online and offline, and we can respond. We can create a different user experience. We can turn off submit buttons, or we can turn off an upload button once the user goes offline and so on. So to me, this is really, all these technologies are about the user experience. All these technologies should vanish. The users shouldn't care whether they're online or offline. They should their user experience should essentially be a function of the context they're currently in. And one of those contexts is, are they connected to the web or not, right? So we, as developers, should work really hard that our users just don't know and don't care, and it really doesn't matter to them, right? So I'm going to talk about some of those technologies today. Now, what I'm talking about today, we can all use, and I'll talk about some little caveats and some gotchas, but these technologies